I'm gonna let you guys trickle in before I start talking because this is important.
Did you guys get the notification?
So, waiting for you guys to get here. So normally I do final thoughts and I do Instagram lives and I do rants about politics. There's plenty to talk about in politics right now. Do it every day, it's a great time. But something, as of recently, has been on my mind. And I consider myself a teacher, a helper, someone who could possibly inspire people to be better. So with that being said, this is a PSA for all the men out there and all the boys who think they're men, but they're actually boys. This is going to be the summer of canceling boys. Now, from my own personal experiences and the experiences of all of my friends, which range in age from 24 to 36, we've all got issues. Now, I will also say this. All of my friends are attractive. All of my friends are successful. All of my friends have something going on. Almost every single one of them have an issue with men. And you have to start looking at that and thinking, if an age range of that many people, including myself, living really all over the country and being blonde, brunette, short hair, long hair, tan, super white, super pale, these women range in every body type and everything. They're all successful, they're all intelligent, they're all good people. But if all of these women, including myself, are having issues, then I have to think, it might not be us. It might be you. It might be men. It might be men. Now, I've often talked about the pussification of America and how men are no longer men. I talk to my mom about this a lot and she says, well, maybe it's just the guys in Texas. Maybe it's just the guys in Los Angeles. Maybe it's just the guys, it is not just the guys in Los Angeles, Nashville, Dallas, and they're not any better in the Midwest. They, quite frankly, I think they're trash all over this country in the age range of about 20 to I think about 55, maybe even 60. A lot of men are trash. A lot of men don't know how to treat women. A lot of men don't know how to really, quite frankly, pull their heads out of the sand and pay attention. So I am going to help you. And these are some of the things that I've experienced, and these are some of the things my friends have experienced. I'm just going to lay a few things out. They haven't all happened to me. Some of them have just happened to my friends. A lot of them have happened to me. So the first thing, and I've made notes, by the way. I've made notes. This is how invested I am in this because I've been thinking about this for about 2 weeks solid now. First question for men. If you like a girl, if you're even somewhat interested in a girl, you need to ask yourself this question. Are you single? No, I don't mean are you kind of single, seeing 5 people, dating somebody, still kind of in a relationship, kind of broken up, kind of on again, off again, kind of married, kind of divorced. Are you actually single? That means single. You have nobody. You have no complications. You have no attachments. You are actually single. That is the first question, believe it or not, that needs to be asked. And ladies, you should be asking it because in 2020, it's not a given anymore that a guy that's actively pursuing you is actually single. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I think is very important that men don't seem to understand. There are very few women out there, and I'm speaking from personal experience as well as from all of my friends and all the women, quite frankly, that I talk to. There is not a woman out there that wants to be your pen pal. She doesn't want to get your texts, your good morning texts, your good night texts, your random through the day texts, if they don't follow up with a plan to actually, here's the kicker, in person, hang out. Now I know what you're saying, oh, it's COVID, people can't hang out in person. This has not been a 4-month problem. This has been a 5-year problem that I've experienced with men and my friends have experienced with men. Women do not want a pen pal. We don't want a texting pal. We quite frankly don't care if you text us all day or if you don't text us at all. If you're not going to make a plan to actually see us in person, not interested. And if you do have a woman out there that just wants to be your pen pal, it's probably because she has a boyfriend or a husband or a wife, or whatever. We don't want a pen pal. But that also leads me to my second point. This is gonna be backwards for you guys. Make plans. Make a plan. Do not assume that you can text somebody randomly in the middle of the day what are you doing? Or text them at midnight or 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. or even just within hours of when you actually want to see them and think that they're going to be available. I personally, once I get home and I take my makeup off and I'm watching TV, I'm no longer interested. So if you didn't make a plan earlier in the day, or better yet, a day or 2 or 3 in advance, I'm not interested. I don't want to hang out anymore because that ship has sailed. Make a plan. I want to hang out with you at this time. It doesn't have to even be a date. I want to see you at this time. Are you free at this time? Or when are you free? I will accommodate my schedule to see you. When are you free? I want to see you. I know it's not rocket science, but men of 2020, it seems like it's pretty difficult for you to figure out. And I'm not a feminist, so please don't take this as a feminist rant. I love men. I think men are great. I think men have failed themselves and they failed us. And I'm just trying to help you out because I think there are a lot of really great guys out there who need a little help. And I don't think that there are a lot of women that are stepping up and saying these things and not FaceTime me, I swear to God. Quite frankly, I don't think that there are a lot of women that aren't raging feminists that don't look like Lena Dunham. They're saying these things to you. So I'm going to go ahead and say them because they need to be said. I am really so sick of my friends having to deal with trash men. I am tired of dealing with trash men, so I'm going to help you out. Make plans. So let's go through these lists again because I know y'all love a list. Number 1, are you single? Number 2, make a plan. Nobody wants a pen pal. We want to actually see you. If not, don't text us because it's a waste of our time and we don't want to see it on our phones. Got it? All right. Next thing. Value. Okay? Value. Take that in. Just repeat it to yourself until it makes sense. Okay. If you want to date a girl that has nothing going on, then that's fine. But please do not mix in people like me and my friends who have something going on with your other girls that have nothing going on. And by nothing going on, I mean this. There is no job that is unimportant. There is no job that's not valuable or that's not worthy. It is. But if you want to mix in people like me and people like my friends who are go-getters, who work really hard, who make their own money, who are talented, skilled, ambitious, please don't mix us in with the Tatianas. We don't want to be there. If that's what you want, find them. Please, for the love of God, do not mix us in with them because we don't want to be there. And quite frankly, we take it as an insult if we find out that you are also talking to 5 Tatianas who have nothing going on. People like me and my friends are going to be insulted by that. And there's almost really no coming back from it. So if you want that kind of a girl, the kind of girl who's just kind of happy going through the motions of life, Tommy. Not really super ambitious, hasn't really found herself yet, doesn't really have a whole lot going on other than she's pretty, please just go after them. And please do not mix us in. We don't want to be there. I promise you. So value. There's a lot of women out there that I know that are my good friends who have amazing jobs, who work really hard, but who can't seem to find a decent guy, even if they go up in age 5 to 10 to 15 years, because those guys all want to be with 21-year-olds who have nothing going on. It's very unfortunate. I don't think it's going to be fulfilling, but I would say to the men out there, try to maybe find a woman that you can talk to, communicate with, might actually have her shit together, might actually be ambitious and have something going on or want to have something going on. I don't care what she does. She doesn't have to be on TV. She doesn't have to be a PhD. She doesn't have to be a television producer. She doesn't have to own her own company, but be ambitious and have something going on. Those women out there are going to be a lot more fulfilling to you. You're actually going to enjoy your time. And if you actually might want a sustainable and healthy and stable relationship, that's probably the kind of girl you're gonna need to find. Not the Tatianas who just wanna look cute and post Instagram stories. Now, I love a good Instagram story. Y'all know I do. I love a good boomerang. I love a good whatever. But if that's all you do, men, if that's all she does, probably Houston, we have a problem. Just gonna let you in on a little tip. The next thing on my list is this: consistency. It really does not help me or my friends or any woman in general if you are really cool and you're really interested when you first start talking to them, and then give it 3, 4, 5 days and all of a sudden you're not consistent anymore. You don't make plans, you don't really care, you kind of fade in and out, you're talking to 5 other Tatianas. Consistency is important. Now, if you want to be inconsistent and you want to ghost and you want to fall off the radar, that's fine, but I'm going to give you a pro tip. People like me and people like my friends, we aren't going to really give a shit after that. We don't really care. The F's have been given and we're kind of done. I'll tell you this from personal experience. Once I'm turned off, I am turned off and I don't care anymore. Because at one point, I probably did care. At one point, my friends, they probably did care. They probably did like you because you expressed interest and maybe you were cool and maybe you were kind of fun to hang out with. But if you're not consistent and you fall off the radar, I give you maybe 1 to 2 chances to fix that because I'm a very direct communicator. Women, this is important. I will communicate to you. If your communication isn't great, I will let you know that. I will let you know that more effort is needed. But if you don't heed that warning and I have to warn you twice, I'm done at that point because I don't really care anymore. Now I'm done. Now I don't care. And I know my friends who are watching this are thinking and saying the same thing because we have these conversations on an almost daily basis. Once you turn us off, we don't care anymore. So let that be a warning to you. You're probably not going to circle back. They always come back. They always come back. But when you're ready to come back, I probably don't care anymore. So if you want to switch up, stay there. Pro tip. My last thing on my list is also very important. Don't be, excuse my language, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. If you have been failed and you lost a woman of value like myself or my friends, and then we don't really care anymore, don't be a bitch. Don't be butthurt. You did it to yourself. Okay? And it's no longer my problem. Now it's become a personal problem of yours. So don't be a bitch. And by the way, if I'm no longer interested because your effort is shitty, that's not me being a bitch. That's not me being difficult. That's me having a standard in which I expect from people. I do have high standards and high expectations. My friends have high standards and high expectations. Do you want to know why? We've worked for those. Okay? We work hard. We're successful. We take care of ourselves. We try to look cute. We have a desire to be something more each day. Okay? That's why we have the ability to be somewhat what you call difficult. It's not difficult. We just have a baseline standard. And if you can't meet that standard, that's okay. A lot of men cannot. But if you are one of those men out there, and I have them all over my DMs, sometimes I check them, and you guys are like, what would it take to be with someone like you? What would it take to be with your friends? What are girls like you? What are they looking for? I laid them out for you very simply there. In order to have a shot with a girl like me, or girls like my friends, girls that are worth a damn, you don't really have to be Brad Pitt. You don't have to be famous. You don't even really have to make a lot of money or have a really fantastic job. You just have to be determined. You have to be in some way successful in that you want to attain some certain kind of success for yourself. You're driven. You have goals. You can handle a woman with standards. That's not going to turn you off. And you're going to put in the effort to be with somebody like myself or my friends. We deserve that. And we will not compromise our standards. I tell you this, it will be a cold day in hell when I chase a man. And I know that's the same thing for my friends as well. And if my friends are listening and they're thinking about chasing a man, please, for the love of God, do not. Because there is not one single man on planet Earth, okay, that is worth making any woman feel like she is not good enough. I don't care how hot a girl is, how smart, how successful, how rich. We have all dealt with men who treat us like we are not good enough. No, the problem is we are too enough and you can't handle it. So those are my checklists. Again, I will go through them for you one more time in case you are just tuning in. Number 1, are you single? No, really. 2, make plans. We don't want a pen pal. 3, value. Value someone who has value. Consistency. Be consistent. Don't be great and then fade out. And then don't fade out and then think that you're going to fade back in, because it ain't going to work. And last but not least, if all else fails, don't be a bitch. Hope you guys have all enjoyed my PSA, my Instagram Live. I love you all. Hope I gave you some valuable tips and advice. But hey, those are just my final thoughts from Nashville, Tennessee in my kitchen. God bless and take care.
Tomi Lahren If you just took Tomi Lahren out and you could have just put any sister in, that was the same playbook. And I mentioned that when I did that colorism stream, that I said, yes, colorism does exist, but it's not the main thing. I tied it all into simply this. Tomi Lahren is a high value woman from a resource standpoint. And she wants a high value man, a man that she feels like is on her hypergamic level. But at best, she is an eternal 7. She is a cute girl. She's an adjustable 6 that could go from 6 to 8 really dressed up, but her life is really closer to 6. She's cute. And her issue is that she wants high value men and she wants to be treated like a pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous woman. And the way she's buying into these men, you're not still muted, man. Come on. Sound is fine. Sound is fine. So she wants a high value man and she wants to be treated like a high value man. Oh, let me let you guys catch up. Sound is fine. Sound is fine. So she wants a high value man and she wants to be treated like a high value man. Where you guys at, man? I know we hear you. You guys need to understand something. YouTube is on a delay. We have weather issues going on here, and you just gonna have to deal with it. This is not live TV. There's not 50 people in here. There's one person here. There's no cameraman, there's no sound man, there's no somebody on the teleprompter. There's no lighting, no somebody behind the script. There's one freaking person. So, catch back up. All Tomi Lahren was basically doing is she was running the I deserve a high value man playbook. Why? Because I'm the crap. I'm a single woman. I'm a high earner. I'm this, I'm that. And she started out with her list, but here's the problem. Tomi Lahren, adjustable 6. An adjustable 6, which means she can be a 6 up to an 8, but for the most part, she hangs in that cute range. And she wants a man that's not on her looks level. Back into the list. You got to be single. I agree. You need to be single. But ladies, like it or not, you guys wanted this deregulated open sexual market. This is what you got. Don't text without plans. Unfortunately, you and your girlfriends, women have lowered the price of casual sex. So now you got Netflix and chill. You want fine dining treatment in a fast food market. Make plans. But here's where she started to go off the rails. Value. Why? Why does she want you to value? Because that's what she has to pay with. She is not hot enough to be trying to demand the high price she's asking. She's a solid Honda Accord and she wants Mercedes prices. How many times have we heard these same things come from too many of our sisters? I got my degree. I got a good job. I got that. All that. I heard people in the chat room saying she sounds like a lot of sisters, and that's true. Be consistent. Don't ghost her, and don't be a bee. That's what she said. Tomi Lahren was reading out of the woman's playbook who she chose to become an ambitious, career-driven woman. And she said, guys don't want a 27-year-old woman in the danger zone. because she's 27 and in the danger zone. Guys don't want a 27-year-old woman in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
They would rather have a 21-year-old who's just sitting over there being pretty. And that's where we're at. So black women, remember when I said colorism? Colorism does exist. It does. It does. But just like any, but like, however, isms, I rarely see a woman of any skin tone who is feminine, beautiful, inspirational, cooperative, easy to get along with, friendly, who has the kind of problems. What did she say? I'm a direct communicator. That's another word for being a ball breaker. Her last point was don't be a bee. And that's really what a lot of guys consider women like that. So sisters, what is Tomi Lahren teaching you? She's teaching you that even if you're a thin white woman and you have this kind of attitude, you cannot get a high value man to stick around. She's teaching you that if you're a thin white woman with blonde hair, if you act like this, you'll get a harsh kind of treatment. Remember when I said it's not your skin tone as much as it's your attitude? It's an attitude. So yes, I'm trolling in the title. You doggone right I am. Because I need to get your attention so you can realize that Tomi Lahren has been getting drugged in the media. She is a conservative pundit. People have been calling her a feminist left and right. People are like, she's lost it so much so that we got to talk about something. But before we get into that, man, we got to get these likes up. And I'll go back and I'll cut that part of that segment out. But here's the thing. We gotta get the likes up, man, because that's what's going on over here. She's been getting drugged to death. Drugged for filth in the media. Why? Because here's something that black men can learn. Black people can learn. Let me take that back. Why is Tomi Lahren getting drugged? Because she is playing the old game. While you used to could just say anything you want to about men. But this cancel culture, online, men have been getting their voice and now they're finally pushing back. In under 4 days, this whole story went from what happened then to what we're about to learn now.
Oh, waiting for y'all to just join on in here. Some of you, I probably will answer some questions later on, but I have some things I need to go through first. All right. So for those of you the other night, I believe it was Monday night, who watched my PSA for boyish men, it has since gained a little bit of traction. I also posted it on Facebook, and I think it's sitting at about 1.5 million views right now. So obviously, it picked up a little bit of talks, which is okay. Not like I'm not used to that. I'm very used to it. But I did want to clear a few things up about that video and just expand on it a little bit, because that's always important. You can't ever say everything you want to say in 15 minutes. And I've heard a lot of comments on it, a lot of praise, a lot of criticism. So I figured I'd just go through some of them if y'all are ready. All right. So first of all, some of the misperceptions and misconceptions about some of the things I said in that video that I want to go through real quick. First and foremost, okay, I don't think all men are trash. And I also want to again
I mean to shut this shit down. Tomi Lahren is teaching black women a very valuable lesson. A very valuable lesson. What is that? You cannot just drag men and get away with it. The point I made, and I have to keep toggling because people talk about echo. We don't have to deal with the echo. The point I made is, notice Tomi's demeanor. Notice how she's coming in to fix this. She said all men are trash. That's what she said. All men are trash. She didn't edit anything. She doubled and tripled down. She was full of that because she didn't get any pushback. Why? Because this playbook had worked in the black community for 50 years. But see, the white community, other communities where they have family system, patriarchy, family values, if nothing else, they have seen what is happening in our community. What happens when you let this gender war take root? Men are pushing back and they are shutting this crap down. Tomi Lahren's got something to teach you. Think about it. This was going on in our community for 50 years. This didn't even get a week. She made a video on Monday, and on Thursday, she was back. He was moonwalking backwards like a mug.
That I made between boys and men. There is a big difference between boys and men. And I'm not talking about an age difference. I'm talking about a mentality difference. If you are a man and you watch that and you thought that I was calling you trash, I will apologize for that because I don't think all men are trash. I don't think any men are trash at all. I think that some boys who think that they are men have a tendency, shall we say, in 2020 to not quite act the right way. And I'm not saying that girls act the right way, mind you. Okay, this is an equal opportunity situation here, but I'm not a dude, in case you haven't noticed. I don't identify as a dude, I'm not a dude. So for me to do a video about how crappy women are in the dating scene, I really don't think I could offer you that much knowledge on it because I've never dated a girl yet. Okay.
Ladies, Tomi's got something to teach you. She said, I just made a video talking about how crappy it is dating men in the dating scene. But I'm not a dude. So stop asking me to talk about how bad it is being a man in the dating scene because I don't date him. See, she is teaching. She's got something to teach you, black women. When brothers or men start coming out talking about their experiences in the dating world, and you ask the same questions that she got from men. She said it. I'm a woman. I got to give it to you from a woman's standpoint. And I can't tell you what it's like to be you. I'm just telling you what it's like to be me. See, that will work in an environment where they're actually trying to keep families together, trying to keep relationships together. But see, people will come over to men or women in the black community, and the men will ask the women to talk about how bad y'all are. And the women will ask the men, talk about how bad you are. This is a college level course. And ladies, what are you learning from Tomi? She came in running I'm strong, independent, don't need no man. I'm high value and I got standards and you don't chase no man. I ain't gonna compete for no man. Don't do that. She should have been up there singing I Will Survive with Gloria Gaynor, and Beyonce could have been singing and dancing in the background. But they shut that crap down because they're trying to keep their families. They're trying to keep their relationships. And now she's out here in a softer, more gentle tone doing this.
So I can't help you there. I'm not saying that girls are perfect and men are awful or boys are awful. I'm not saying that, never would say that. I'm sure that there are many horrible girls out there that do many horrible things. I myself am not perfect. I acknowledge that. I'm happy to acknowledge it. So I wanted to clear that up. Men, I don't think you're trash. I happen to quite like men.
I'm gonna time you out if you ask me one more question.
Especially real men who act like men and who treat women the right way. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit, but I want to clear up some other misperceptions about the video, things that maybe you guys were confused about, so I can help you out. It was not in any way, shape, or form about my ex-fiance. Okay? My ex-fiance is a saint. My ex-fiance is a great individual, a great man, and the woman that ends up with him is going to be incredibly lucky because all the things that I bitched about in that video, he didn't do any of those things. He's a great guy, so I want to clear that up. It wasn't me being scorned about a broken off engagement. It wasn't me being scorned about a bad breakup. I haven't dated anybody in months. So it wasn't about that, and it wasn't about my ex-fiance, so I want to clear that up. If he's watching or his friends are watching, not about him.
So, if you're new to my channel, Stop asking me all these questions. You're going to have to sit your butt down and pay attention. All you people with short attention spans, this is a place for people with intelligence and can think longer than 2 minutes. Where's the colorism part? Sit your ass down and listen. And if you can't wait until I tie it all together, leave. Like I said, this woman had to come back and say, oh, first off, let me clear this up about Brad. Brad is a wonderful man. It ain't about Brad. Brad is, walks on water. And about Brad or his friends or anything else, she had to go apologize to white men. Because her money's on the line, black men. See, when you control the economy that your women work in, they have to worry about your image. This is why I say, brothers, we got to build vertical. As long as they're working for somebody else, they can tear up our image because they're going to work in their companies. Oh, we going to get a little bit of everybody's going to got today. Because Tomi got to go back and clear up Brad because Brad and him came for her. And Brad and him can actually impose consequences. Black men, we can't impose any consequence on our women globally. Locally, yes. Globally, no. 4 days. Actually, it wasn't even 4 days. It happened inside of 4 hours. See, it's not where the colorism part, like I told you 2 or 3 weeks ago, it's not your skin color, it's your attitude. She came in with the typical black girl attitude. Is that clear enough for you? Or do you need me to get you a picture book? You need me to get the big Crayolas out? Is that clear enough for you now? She came in here with the typical black girl power playbook. Even though she's a conservative pundit, she tried to touch that liberal feminist stuff and she got destroyed. So, understand something. If you go in the world talking like Tomi Lahren does, sisters, and you think you get a bad response and you say, well, it's because my dark skin. No. It's your attitude. It's the attitude more than anything else. Yes, it's always going to be a factor, but it's your attitude.
Another thing that I thought was kind of weird, because I read some media headlines about it, was that my video the other night was homophobic. You're gonna have to explain that to me, how that video was homophobic. I don't think it was homophobic in the least. I can't even wrap my mind around how anyone say it was homophobic. That makes no sense to me. So if anybody got that impression, maybe rewatch it, because it certainly wasn't homophobic. But I also...
Brad got so much power and is so dope. He got her apologizing for shit that she didn't even say. We're trying to get our women to stop talking about stuff. We're just trying to get them to say the truth. Stop saying it. Y'all out here making babies all over the place when 51% of black men are single and childless. Y'all all out here broke dusted when the facts are 64% of black men are in the middle class. See, the facts are on your side, brother. And far too many of us sisters that got this Tomi Lahren kind of attitude won't even tell the truth. They're telling a lie. And we can't do nothing about it because you don't control the economy that they work in. But when she goes out and tells a falsehood, a lie, stretches it, even exaggerates, Brad can come down and say, oh, no. Not only are you going to go back and make sure you put Brad back up on Mount Olympus, you're going to go apologize to the gays and the kittens. And matter of fact, who else do we need her to apologize to? The automobile dealers. Who else? The farmers, the airline association. We need you to apologize to the Major League Soccer, Boy Scouts of America, the junior colleges. We need you to apologize to the janitors in the elementary school, because if you don't, we'll take everything that you think is so great about you. That career you got, how great and wonderful you are, we'll take all of that. We'll take all that ish. Yeah, no more Fox, no more Blaze for you. We'll take all of it. And you'll just be an adjustable 6 blonde out here in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
Trying to get a husband. And instead, and when we take all that from you that we gave it to you because we built it. When we take all of it from you, you won't be sitting around and talk about all that list stuff. You'll just be happy to get a man, period. See, you want cooperation and submission, you better be willing to pay the price, brother. That's why when I made that video, men should pay for everything and women should be hypergamous. Here it is. See, if you want this kind of behavior from a woman, we're gonna have to pay the cost. Oh yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about a couple of the responses that I got, and once again, kind of just reinforcing my point here. So the kind of responses that I got from at least people that I know, males that I know, were two. First of all, most of the guys in my life, they either thought it was about them and it wasn't, and they apologized and they didn't need to, or I had friends of mine that I've never dated who are just dudes who messaged me and said, hey, this actually really helped me out because it's a jungle out there and sometimes men don't know how to act. They don't know what women want. They don't understand what they're doing wrong, which was the whole point of my video. It wasn't to give men a guide.
Now, there's what point I'm going to co-sign. I agree with her list. Let me go ahead and tell you why I agree with her list. Let me go ahead and read it to you again. You need to make sure you're single. Just tell the truth. You got situationships and married folks out in dating? No. Yeah, I agree. To be in my Facebook group, you got to announce your current status and what you're looking for. And if you're found to be false, all she said is, women don't want you to be text pals. Don't contact without plans. Yeah, I've said it to the nth degree. CIA, you need to assert, men. If you don't have a plan for a woman, how you doing, cutie? How you doing, sweetie? No, contact her with a plan. I'm going out to dinner. I'd love for you to attend with me. I'm going out next Tuesday at 7. Will you be my guest? That's a yes or no. If she says no, you go somebody else. But the worst thing to do is contact what you want to do. What you want to do, man, that's weak. Making plans. But in order to make plans, you got to have plans. In order to have plans, you got to have a purpose and a life. One of the biggest problems we're having back and forth with women like this is they're outpacing men in social life. Women are far more active today. This is where, guys, you can do better. You need to have a life. But I get pushback when I tell you, if you don't have a life that requires you to wear a suit from time to time, you need a broader life. You need a suit. You need a dinner jacket. You need to put on a tuxedo at least once a year. Oh man, I don't need no tuxedo. I don't need no suit. Okay, and you call yourself a grown man. Right. Be consistent. Don't ghost her. Well, Tommy, you're getting ghosted because you're shooting out of your league.
Of things they already knew, it was to help you out in case there's some things you didn't, okay? Maybe men don't know that we like plans to be made. Maybe men don't know that consistency is important. Maybe men don't know that it's nice to be valued for what you bring to the table. Maybe some men don't know those things. Maybe they don't know how important communication.
And notice that even when she's still trying to take her shots at men, she's doing it in a bubbly kind of, just maybe that she's not doing it in a teacher, you ain't crap kind of way. See, if this were flipped and sister in this position was talking to men in her target area, it would be a completely different energy. Tommy got something to teach you folks.
Is. Men and women think differently. Totally understand that. So I got a lot of men that I know who are great guys who honestly messaged me and said, hey, this is helpful. It's nice to know how women think. It's nice to know how you and your friends think. I like you. I think you're a cool chick. So it was great pointers. And that again reinforces my point. That is the difference between a man and a boy. The men in my life that I've dated, met, gone out with, or I'm just friends with, they either laughed, they thought it was funny, or they were like, hey, cool, thanks for the heads up, okay?
All right, that's enough of that. So, for everybody that ran over because I put colorism in the title, if you're that triggered by the word colorism, you got something has too much control over you. When I heard this woman speaking, I didn't get offended. I didn't get offended because I agree. But let me ask you, did she get drugged because of her skin color? Let me ask you, honestly, for the colorism crowd, if that had been a dark-skinned woman in the media and she had gotten drugged for filth, would you have said she got drugged for her skin color or for her attitude? Men don't like bossy women, period. And women who are trying to get men outside of their looks level are going to be upset because you cannot make men value. You cannot make men value your education. You cannot make men value your career, your home, your 401k. You can't make men do that. That is not how we're wired. So, Tomi had something to teach you, black women. Number one, how women who care about their men act. Tomi has something to teach you, black women, how men who care about their women act. Because even with a public personality like that, when the men of her race group started pushing back, she came back and restated and apologized profusely. A white woman who thinks she's high value came back, humbled herself, and apologized profusely. Why? Go ask her. Because she understands that there's power in the group. Well, if black men I can understand, so sisters were like, wait a minute, but if black men built Wakanda, then I would apologize. No. If black men built Wakanda, then no. See, you'll never get Wakanda until you stop fighting your men. Whatever it is you want to say, if black men did this, then you get that. You'll never get that without working with your men. Other groups have studied the black community, the fractured nature and all this, and they've said, we don't want out of wedlock births because they are rising. You've heard people in the gender war argument talking about, well, wait a minute, out of wedlock birth rates are rising other places and marital rates are dropping other places too. Then in 2019, what happened? Marital rates were up the highest since 1960. Divorce rates have been halved since 1990. Other groups will do something to keep their families together, their people together, educated or not educated, high value or not high value. They won't destroy their family. And it doesn't matter how one of them, Tomi, got on her Instagram and got on one, they will check that crap because it is a danger to the group. Now, here's the question, honest question. If this had been a higher value, if this had been a black woman in her position, political pundit, when you say Candace Owens, that's not fair. If that had been someone with her level of influence and a black woman, would we have seen any kind of retraction, black men? With even when black men pushed back, would there have been a retraction? Or would there be a double down? And we know damn well we would get a double down because we see it all the time. We've seen this happen here recently. There was a woman here in Atlanta whose cousin was supposedly abducted or was feared being abducted, remember? And that whole to-do. And she called her cousin, and her cousin got on Instagram and she drugged black men for filth. Now, this woman apparently was a supporter of brothers. But all it took was her cousin calling her saying, "Cuz, I'm being followed by these black men," and da 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 da. And then the woman in question saying it on social media and not getting the response she felt like she should get or wanted to get. And she went off. Okay, Tomi Lahren went off. But then when brothers came back and responded, did black men get a response like Tomi Lahren got? No, what we got was more lectures. You got doubling and tripling down. More war. Tomi Lahren teaching you how you need to handle your high value position, ladies. If you want to have a shot at building Wakanda, you cannot insult your men and let that stuff ride. Even a white woman knows that. Oh, damn, we went there. We went there. We went there. You cannot insult and drag your men, tell them they're trash, tell them they're this, tell them they're that in public, and not pay a cost. That's the net of it. Now, I know a lot of people don't know Tomi Lahren. Tomi Lahren is a political pundit, but the lesson is there. The lesson is simply this. A woman who is above average cute, but very accomplished, wanting a man in her economic or tax bracket, but she is not in his looks range. Complaining about the treatment she's getting from high value men because they don't like women who are not really, she can be girly, but does that woman come across as feminine or masculine? The men that she wants in her tax bracket don't want women like this. Black men are not or no different than any other group of men. You heard a white woman saying, high value men ghost me, aren't serious, aren't consistent. And then they would rather have a girl who's airhead than an accomplished, cultured woman. No, they just don't want a ball breaker. Let's open up the call line because something's going on tonight with YouTube, man. Something happened with the notifications. The weather's going on out here. So here's the thing. My question is this. What can you learn from this Tomi Lahren situation? What can you learn from this Tomi Lahren situation? If you go into the halls of power with this kind of attitude, you're always going to get pushback. And one of the sad things I think that have happened to so many of our sisters is they've been useful to other people, but you've been weaponized against your own men. That doesn't mean in order to be, and here's the other thing, what do we need to just be barefoot and pregnant and uneducated? Come on, man, knock it off. Knock it off. That woman's education and accomplishments are not an excuse for her attitude. Remember that lady that called in the other day who was a lawyer with all the attitude? You mean to tell me you can't be a pleasant person and accomplished? It comes down to what you really think of people. And if you go into her backstory, she tells you she had a horrible long-term relationship of which she's gotten therapy for. And then after that, she came out with a new Sex and the City Girls attitude. Well, has a engagement that's broken off. Go look at her story, because right now, with all the access she has, all the visibility she has, everything that so many sisters were like, well, they got it easy over there. They got it easy over there. You got a thin white woman who's financially successful, popular, in the halls of power and all these things, and she can't get a man. Why?
Danger zone!
That attitude keeps you single. All right. Why do you have to get on the camera? Because I'm not going to have a bunch of trolls calling in. So, you don't have to be on YouTube, but you do need to get on the camera. Need to be able to see you. Jade, Yasmin, you're in the chat room. Your pictures are up. That's fine. Which one wants to go first? Jade or Yasmin? You can flip the camera around real quick and then flip it off. But you don't have to, but you're gonna have to at least show something. All right, you don't have to be on, Jade. I see you. All right, Jade, how are you?
Hello, Kevin, or Mr. Samuels, I should say. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well. What you got on the topic? What can Tomi Lahren teach Black women?
Well, I definitely thought colorism was an issue before. I mean, I still think it's an issue, but...
Okay, why do you think it... What's the issue? What did you think the issue about colorism is?
Well, I think that dark skin is kind of seen more... I think that a dark-skinned woman has to be a lot more feminine than a lighter-skinned woman for them to be considered on the same level. And more attractive as well.
Okay, and what examples have you seen of this in your personal life?
Well, I'd say almost entirely all the relationships that I have seen, when the woman is darker.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
sorry.
in your life, not what you've seen. Because here's the thing: women like to do this oftentimes. You like to look at things and then interpret, and inevitably your interpretations are wrong. You don't know. So tell me about in your life where you've had to be more feminine to get the same attention or opportunities as light-skinned women.
Well, I'll say that in my work experiences and also in dating experiences.
In your dating experiences, in your what?
In work experiences.
Okay. Give me an example.
I personally, one example. So I worked with a Latino woman that she was fit, definitely, but she was very loud. She cursed a lot, but it was never a problem. There was an encounter that I had with an older woman that was being very aggressive towards me, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't respond in the best way. I also responded aggressively, and and I was given a lot of negative energy that this Latino woman was never given, even though she was consistently loud.
Okay. This is a very vague story. Nothing specifically happened. Let me tell you what I just heard. I'm speeding down the highway. The speed limit is 65 or 70 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
And I'm going 100. And a woman and somebody next to me is going 103. Cop pulls me over, gives me a ticket. Cops are unfair. Were you breaking the law?
Yep.
In your situation, were you breaking the law?
Yep, I was.
But instead of just checking yourself, you go outside of yourself to assume some stuff that you cannot prove.
No, that is true. That is true. And like I said, I did admit that I was aggressive when I should not have been, so.
Oh, let's stop right there. I just asked you to prove or validate or substantiate what you say you believe, and you haven't. This the best you could give me?
Well, what I was trying to say is that I had one negative experience that I could think of. And in return, I received a very negative response, which was deserved.
But it was deserved.
Yes, but I'm saying there was someone that regularly behaved outrageously.
So, ma'am, do you make room for the possibility maybe your perceptions are just off?
No, it's possible, definitely.
Because here's what I hear a lot of times from this colorism argument. I act bad because I've been treated bad. And then I see other people who act as bad as I do, but they don't get the same response. Well, tell me about when you act good. And when you act well. Are you still getting treated poorly?
Generally, no.
Show over. Show over. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. We're done. I just solved the colorism debate. When you act the way you want to get treated, you tend to get treated well.
Sir, you're 100% right. But
no. I mean, here's the thing. You can give me a percentage, but at the end of the day, more times when you talk about this colorism thing, it's an assumption. It's a feeling, I've yet to have somebody tell me it was because of my skin color. You can assume that, but you rarely have somebody just being innocent, doing nothing. I know it's going to take some people off because they're going to be, no, that's not right. Colorism doesn't. Yes, everything matters. You can have a Latina woman and a black woman. There's going to be prejudices and perception differences between both. Absolutely. No different than you can have a Latina woman and a white woman and an Asian woman. Everyone has prejudices. But to say you get treated differently solely based on that's the determining factor, I'm still waiting for that story.
Okay, so what I was going to say that I learned from Tomi Lahren is that it's good to be humble. And I believe that I'm generally a pretty humble person. I can admit when I'm wrong. Like you said, like my perception about some things that may be off, but I think generally I try my best to be level-headed. I try my best to not hurt anybody. I don't want to offend anybody ever. So,
okay.
And that's kind of one of the things that I took away from what she was talking about.
Tomi Lahren, like I said, no one. She made up a lot. What I heard, I didn't say she was wrong for wanting what she wants. But getting mad at people for what she cannot get, she's out of her looks lane. So, okay, but I'm going to put you back in the, okay, I've already got you there. So thank you for calling in. Thank you for answering the questions and at least trying to go down the path. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Hey, Jerry, I can't see you. The room is dark. If you can't come onto the camera, you can stay right there. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. Go ahead and come into the light, Mr. Troll. Come on. Come on, Mr. Troll. Hey, he's back. Come on, Jerry. Come on, boy. Come on. Come on, boy. Come on. Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Amy, come back to the camera real quick. Hi. Okay. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay.
So,
can you hear me?
Yeah. What can you learn from Tomi Lahren, if anything?
I think it's the attitude. You keep on saying we have to be mindful of our attitude, and her first video clearly showed that. She came across as very aggressive, too masculine. And her second video, even though she was making points, but she was more feminine and came across as more respectful, you know.
Let me ask you a question, Amy. Let me ask you a question. What? She said men are trash 3 times in that first video. If a man had said something along those lines, if a black man had said something along those lines, or a man period, or a black man in particular, do you think he'd have had a job the next day?
No, I don't think so. Everybody will be on his case.
not only does she have a job, she was allowed a chance to go back and make it right.
Mhm.
So, oh, Jerry left. Oh, he had to go back to the pound. Poor Jerry. Let me go ahead and get to who is this, Priscilla? Because I do want to answer some other questions too, because I know this colorism thing, and we're going to do a standalone colorism show because we got to have a conversation about this. Priscilla, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm good. All right, did you see the video?
I did. Yeah.
Was that the first time seeing it?
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
It is. It's scary, actually.
What was scary about it?
I think the amount of anger she had in the first video, it almost felt like something just happened like the night before, and she was just like letting out the anger through that rant. Yeah.
So, how do I want to ask this? That's a loaded question, because yes, we've seen this kind of rant from in this community. We've seen women say that stuff about men, but there's really, well, what else would you like to put into it? Because I don't want to lead you down that path. What else would you like to add about it?
I think that it was very mature of her to come back and humble herself and apologize. And I think that's the turning point, because most of the times when we Black women make a mistake, we are afraid to come back and apologize and be humble because we think that the men might laugh at us to take advantage. But it's a great way to show that it's okay to acknowledge your wrong and say you're sorry and try to be better. Yeah.
Well, and see, that's what I kind of want to get to, because usually when I hear a sister talk about coming back and humbling, it'll come back, well, yeah, she came back because the white men owned the economy. So she had to come back because her money was on the line. Let's just say that's true. She still had to come back. I think oftentimes the sisters use that. It's an excuse to not have to do better. Because it's saying, if you own the economy, we'd act like them too. No, if you like your men, you wouldn't want to have that hanging out there about your men, calling them trash. So you said a lot of times you feel like sisters fear that men will take advantage.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, there's this pride they want to hold on to. I don't beg a man. They want to hold on to some power. There's a fear to just be completely vulnerable and say, I'm sorry. And maybe the man is going to say, well, you were wrong, and he's going to like backlash at you for a minute, which you deserve. They don't want to be in that position of you were wrong. Just take it 100%. They want to hold on to some power. I did this because. Okay. Nothing warrants you to misbehave. I don't care how bad a man is to you. You can walk away. You just, you don't have to do that,
Oh, here's the thing. I agree. And my gut tells me that a lot of unfortunately, so many of our in our culture, we don't trust each other. There's not a lot of good faith. Yeah. So it's like, well, if I make a mistake, like you said, they're gonna hold this over my head. They're never gonna let me go. They're never gonna forget it, and I'll never live it down. Never, not thinking that, you know what, you'll make a mistake, they'll accept the apology and you can just move on, because there's a lot of grudge holding. So okay, good point. Let me get to Moto. What is this? I don't have a name here, so we're gonna go Moto. You gotta put your microphone on. Moto E5 play. When I speak to men and tell them to do this or do that, to get yourself together, to understand it's a jungle out there. If you want to be seriously dressed like a man, put on a suit, cut your hair, take off the Jordans, take off the jerseys, get out there and work 60 hours, do all that stuff. Oh, you love that. Women love that stuff. But then when you turn around and say, well, guess what? You're going to need to be cooperative and work with your man and this and that. No. Unfortunately, like it or not, Black women, you have a reputation of being difficult to deal with. And you don't change that reputation by trying to insult everybody that has the nerve to try to talk to you. Because unfortunately, when you have 80% of our children being born out of wedlock, 1 out of 4 being married, you're not winning. And you can't blame the fact that you're not winning on everybody else. You can't blame it on everybody else. And here's another thing. Every black man that you tried to make your enemy is not. Here's the thing. And the sad thing is it's a lot of younger women. It's a lot of younger women. And inevitably, let me see how I can say this as politically correct as possible. Inevitably, you have a group of, our culture has got to the point to where no one can tell women any truth. In the late 80s, early 90s, a book was written by one Shahrazad Ali, and it's called The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And in there, she basically said that everyone has been kind of held to task or evaluated for their part in this issue that's the black community, except the women. This was a black woman that actually tried to write down and have a thoughtful way of dealing with it. But people seized on one passage, one sentence. And everywhere that woman went, instead of having an interview about it, you had women and you had men, so-called guys, seizing on this, and it was like blood sport. This was before the internet. This was before things were very recorded. So a lot of this stuff isn't. You can go on YouTube right now and see it. But what you notice is in a lot of those audiences, you had men standing up saying, thank you for writing that book. Thank you. Because for the first time, somebody's finally said, you know what? It ain't all your issue, brother. And it's hard dealing with this woman over here, dealing with that over there. And that happened. But they effectively shouted her down. And after that point, for 30 plus years, it's just been allowed to get to this point. And the relationships between men and women have gotten further and further and further away. My generation, Generation X, gave birth to millennial single mothers, boys raised without dads. And then you get this group, Zennials. You can almost guarantee that the people who have the biggest issue with what I'm talking about are likely either one of these two things: single mother, or in that 80% that's overweight. Two things that have nothing to do with, you can control those things. But see, you're not supposed to say those things. And the fact that you actually say, well, all right, those things, you're not responsible for your situations, but you are responsible for doing something. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Whatever situation you're in, you got to do something about it. And unfortunately, we have a situation that a lot of black women don't want to hear nothing from nobody. You're supposed to accept everything you do. No one can say nothing. The only people you like is the one that are telling you you're a king, you're this, you're that. And it doesn't matter if you say it in a nice way, or it doesn't matter if you're cussing them out. So here's the question. Who do you want saying anything to you? And the answer comes back to nobody. It comes back to nobody. And that's just not going to work. It's not going to work because my generation, millennials and Zennial men are different men. Zennial men I had a sister on her channel talking about how her name is Ebony, and her children, her oldest daughter is dating a Latino guy, and her son doesn't want to date a black woman because he's 15. But he sees the ill treatment. I mean, do y'all not see it? Over here, it's about men becoming the best version of themselves, women becoming the best version of themselves, and people being happy. And I'm sorry, When you are happy and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you are going to attract angry, upset, hurt people. You're going to. You're going to attract hurt people. I will tell you this. I don't care about if you swirl or date out or whatever. Let me let you, any of the people in that community know. You're not going to come over here and argue with me. I got no argument with you. If you have an issue with me, you can't have an issue with what I say. What is it? Like I said, I don't fear a woman dating out. I don't fear a woman talking about these guys over here are better. I don't worry about Brad. I beat Brad. Brothers, what it comes down to is there are a lot of folks who are upset that you're actually trying to become better versions of yourself. And there are a lot of women who are upset with the women who come over here. And they want to call you pick-me's and this and that, and they want to down you. You got to ask yourself, why are so many people threatened by black men wanting to become better versions of themselves, black women want to become better versions of themselves, and black men and black women saying they want to deal with one another? Why are so many people